Yeah, Caitlin Clark owns the WNBA. We see it. I see it. She's being very kind by going to the media and complaining about the referees not making the right calls. It's one thing to get fouled and be fouled hard, and it's a basketball play. But she's taking a lot of shots that are not basketball related. And you have players out there who get 30-foot 3 pointers busting in their face, and they balling up their fists, and they hitting her in her neck. You're getting folks who are talking trash or who are extra sensitive because she said something to him. And ain't no rookie supposed to speak to him like that, who wasn't even in the league last year. But by the grace of Coach Teaspoon, the legendary Teresa Weatherspoon, you in the league. And because you allowed a rookie to talk crazy to you, you lose your complete mental and composure. And from two different angles, you see two different views. The view from the back when you run into Caitlin, it doesn't really look like much, but it's that front view where you say, "Hey, bitch," which tells us what your mental state was before you even hip check the girl. If that was first degree murder, you would be convicted because your mental state showed us you were trying to do harm. Your heart was filled with menace. Your heart was filled with hatred. This wasn't a play where you got there too soon before the ball got there. The ball hadn't even been released. It's fouls like that I don't think any player could tolerate. It's fouls like Alyssa Thomas on Angel Reese, where Alyssa Thomas gets ejected from the game for two flagrant fouls. But yet, the referees will protect Angel Reese. Why is that? But they won't protect Caitlin Clark. Why is that? Both of them are rookies. If it wasn't for the both of these women playing in that 2023 NCAA championship game, I don't even think the ratings and the viewership and the views go up, or even the revenue goes up to 200 million without Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese outperforming anybody's expectations in that championship game. That game was phenomenal. 9.9 million people watched that shit live. 9.9 million people, 10 million people watch women play college basketball. But I'm starting to realize the draw isn't Angel Reese. The draw has always been Caitlin Clark. And I understand people don't want to give her that, but let's just be honest. When they played again this year, when LSU played Iowa again this year in the Elite Eight, 12 million people showed up to watch that game live. 12 million viewers on ESPN. The next game, I don't even know who Iowa played, but 14 million people watched that game. And guess who wasn't in that game? Angel Reese. 18.9 million people watched the championship game between South Carolina and Iowa. Guess who wasn't in that game? Angel Reese. Those are NFL football numbers, y'all. That's crazy. This is due to Caitlin Clark. The influx of attendance at the Staples Center of 19,103 was because of Caitlin Clark. It had nothing to do with those two other rookies for the LA Sparks. It had nothing to do with that. They came to see Caitlin. And to sell out that arena in the regular season, that's wild. So here's why Caitlin Clark owns the WNBA. When I say she's being polite by complaining about the referees and the non calls and the hard fouls that aren't basketball related, she's being kind to you because she's giving you grace. She's giving you time to correct this. It should not have taken the WNBA 24 hours to see two viewpoints that showed you that hip check was on purpose. That hip check had nothing to do with basketball. It should not have taken you 24 hours to determine that was not a foul or that was away from the ball. That had nothing to do with that. That was a flagrant foul. And anybody who was blind Could have saw that with Braille. But it took the WNBA 24 hours. I tell you what, the next game that Caitlin Clark plays in, do you honestly think when a flagrant foul happens, it's going to take 24 hours for them to figure out it's a flagrant foul? I don't believe so. I'll tell you why. It is said that Caitlin Clark has $50 million in endorsement deals. You know what? That's $50 million a sponsor is paying her to perform. Now, I get it. She's tired. She's exhausted. She's going to play an entire NBA season this year at 31 minutes a game with literally a couple of weeks of rest in between college, the college championship and the WNBA. That girl got $50 million in her pocket for endorsements. The WNBA regular revenue is only $60 million. She's only $10 million shy of making what the WNBA makes. And guess what? All of her money is profit. So when Caitlin Clark stops being kind and giving the WNBA grace or trying to get things corrected, she's just going to go to her sponsors. Or better yet, her sponsors going to show up. And they're going to start complaining to that league office. And they're going to show up in they pimp zoot suits and they're going to ask the WNBA commissioner, why are you allowing people to bother my money? Why are you allowing people to affect how we get paid? You see, these fouls are so horrendous. You already have Caitlyn fan supporters and fans talking about they don't want their daughters watching this basketball league. And if the WNBA don't get their ass in check, her fans are leaving. Her fans are leaving. They won't come back. And you know what happens when they leave? They ain't coming back. You see, all of this growth in the game, all of this growth of wealth, all of this growth in views, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on ESPN, CBS, or whoever broadcasts the games like Ion Prime, is because of Caitlin Clark. And it's not because she's white and straight. Because we all know Diana Taurasi is a better basketball player. It has everything to do with Caitlin Clark being able to play like Steph Curry. You see, nobody knew Diana Taurasi or Sue Bird or Breonna Stewart. Nobody knew that they were lesbians before they came out of college. We knew they were white. So it's not her whiteness that's doing it. And it's not the fact that she's straight. It has everything to do with how she plays basketball. Her game is so different than everybody else's that she's able to shoot those 30-foot, 40-foot three-pointers with ease, like she's shooting a regular 20-footer. It's that simple. And so the WNBA needs to be careful how they treat this one. You need to be careful because the discrepancies are looking racial. Even though Breonna Stewart hit her with a hard, block in the first and second game they played in New York, that was a basketball play. That was on one of her teammates to tell her that she had a block coming. That's a basketball play. But all these hard fouls that are coming on Caitlin that are not basketball fouls, they're being done by black women. And this is terrible. When they talk about black and white, they're not talking about it being racial. You are either for the money or you are against the money. And if you want to hurt Caitlin Clark, now I get how rookies have to be tested. But if you want to hurt Caitlin Clark, you hurting yourself. And you on the wrong side of the money. You on the wrong side. Because we know what it looked like when they just try to sell y'all. We know what it looked like when they ain't selling Caitlin Clark. It's average. And average is normal. And normal for the WNBA is terrible. It's embarrassing. You get with the program or the program going to get gone. It's that simple. Now, I don't think the girl is a quitter. I don't think she's ever going to or wants to leave the WNBA because it's always been her dream. But at some point, y'all still dogging out Aaliyah Boston, who won the Rookie of the Year last year, and she's in her second year. Y'all gonna continue to do this to Caitlin Clark next season? I don't think you will. And I don't think this shit is gonna continue too much longer because when it's all said and done, them sponsors gonna come in and they gonna say something. And when they get to saying something, oh, all that champagne popping and celebrating and look at how much money you making, that's gonna be gone. And y'all gonna have to treat Caitlin Clark like she Michael Jordan. Y'all gonna have to treat Caitlin Clark like the NBA treated Michael Jordan. It's that simple.